Bears got the best of me. Said bears on my fantasy. Said bears ain't what I like. We do it all night, all right. Bears that don't discriminate. I take a carbon chop to circumnavigate. Steal my heart and let it percolate all night, all right. Bears got the best of me. Said bears on my fantasy. Said bears ain't what I like. We do it all night, all right. Bears.
Well, howdy, everyone. Welcome back to another Bears of a Certain Age. We're your hosts, Scott and Jonny. It is Wednesday, November 15th. We're halfway through the month. The year's almost over. Can you believe it?
I
oh, my
know.
God.
And I don't even want to think about it. It's too fast. It's too fast.
It's going so fast.
And
but
the older I get, the faster it goes.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. Hey, we got to start off on a positive note. The actor strike is over. How exciting is that?
And it's supposed to be an unprecedented deal that they've made. It's only 3 years, but that's typical. But yeah, I'm so excited for them. 118-day strike. That's bullshit, but I'm glad it's done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy town, but good job on the negotiating team. It's nice. I'm happy to get all my actors back again for interviews.
Right?
I was like, okay, who's singing? Who's on Broadway right now? Who's my go-to?
Right? Well, and have you seen everybody is finally sharing like stills from the movie they were in because they get it. They've been waiting. And so I love this for all of them. Listen, Fran Drescher is like just amazing because you had to stay really tough. And from what I understand, when they release after everybody votes on it, it's a really good deal. And I love that. They even made sure there were protections against AI for the actors. Hopefully that's just a place you continue to build on in 3 years when we come here, and hopefully it's not a 118-day strike again. But I think it's very hopeful. Very hopeful.
It's like you said, unprecedented is the word they used a lot, and it is because a lot of the stuff didn't exist when they did the last contract. So
exactly.
I'm so happy for them. I don't know if you are. I'm a huge Star Trek fan.
Oh, yeah.
And Jerry Ryan has been a queen on that picket line and on her social media and everything, 7 of 9. She's been great. Of course, we talked about a couple weeks ago, Jason Gaffney, our good friend from
I know, I love him.
He's a great captain. Like I said, Fran Drescher, they all did an amazing job. Yeah. So congratulations to all of them. I'm excited.
Exactly. And to hear that they even renegotiated residuals for streaming. You get a streaming bonus if you're part of. I mean, they've needed this forever, and so I'm glad it's finally there. I'm really excited. And look what it took. Fran would keep being like, listen, we talked to them, we said, fuck you. So, people had to be patient, but I loved the solidarity. I loved it. And it was like there was, New York and LA, and there was New England and all the places coming together. That was brilliant. Right. Loved it. Loved it.
Fantastic. I'm so excited. Don't have to worry about that anymore for 3 years. So that's a good thing. I'm glad it's over with. But good job on everyone there. I also wanted to go back to the Out 100. We talked about the last couple episodes. We're filming this about 4 days before the episode airs. They just had their big gala last night.
Yes, they did.
So they were all there. Everyone was all fancied up, looking nice there. David Archuleta looked amazing.
He looked so good. Someone that was like a trendy style, like an edgy. Yeah. It was fun to see all of the different people showing up to the red carpet.
Looked amazing. We talked about that it was going to be on TV. I looked it up. It's going to be November 25th. It'll start streaming.
Nice.
You can get it from any Roku TV, any Fire Stick for Amazon, and any Apple TV. And then I think there's 8 ABC affiliates. A lot of the main cities like Chicago, LA, New York, and then a couple other affiliates that are going to be doing it on their air as well. So be sure to look for that.
Is Logo playing it at all? I mean, is Logo still alive? I don't know.
It's still alive, but it's not playing. I don't know what the deal is for that, why they didn't get it, but no.
Yeah,
It's going to be on, like I said, the Roku. The three places I know for sure is Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire Stick, and then
nice.
the 8 affiliates for ABC. So,
Love it.
Jamie Lee Curtis won the Vanguard Award. She did a great speech, from what I heard. I kind of read about it. I did not
She
see it,
has
but
never backed down. You know, I
no,
mean, in the support of her child and everything. I just love her. She's like, fuck. I mean, she is not afraid to just tell people, no, I'm not going to talk. I don't want to fight with you. I love my kid. You know what I mean?
exactly.
I love that. So I love that she got that award from the Advocate. It's just, and she's perfect for it. Yeah.
Right.
She's sassy and she still looks amazing. I mean, I love her.
She's always looked amazing, but you're right. She's getting better with age. I mean,
yes.
Those legs go for mile, and she uses every mile.
And she makes gray hair look so good. Whether she has that short or if she has that little bob she has in the Halloween, lady from. I just love her. I'm addicted to her. She's amazing.
Yes, definitely.
Well deserved. We cheer you.
Yes. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis, we love you.
I mean, how excited were you when she got the Oscar? I was just so thrilled. Yeah, because she never expected it. She was so gracious. She was there to support all of her fellow actors. She never thought that would happen. So it was the best moment. I love that.
Love her. Love everything she does. I mean, I've been a fan for a long time. What weirdly really cemented it for me was how good her and Arnold played off each other in True Lies. I was surprised how well she's always been a great actress, but I would think he would be hard to play against. I would never thought of who plays Sarah Connor, whoever I forget her name. But I don't think she was able to give her best performance because Arnold is so tough to play, but Jamie Lee played against when they were both hilarious.
Do you remember? I've loved her since A Fish Called Wanda. Which my parents hated that I saw because it was very risque. And I just thought it was a great movie. They did such a... John Cleese, of course, brilliant in it.
Exactly.
So I love it. So yeah, she's been amazing forever. So I think she's a queer icon, even before she had kids. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Big time.
Love it.
A lot of entertainment news going on that we'll talk about this week. I sent you over a trailer for a documentary I got to see the other day. Absolutely amazing. It's called Through the Windows, and especially resonates for us of a certain age. It's about what is documented so far to be the very first gay bar to open up its windows to the public, kind of show the LGBTQ lifestyle inside. And I mean, they had floor-to-ceiling windows. They didn't cover it. I mean,
mirrors.
We've talked about before, all the gay bars being behind the alleys. You had to go in and go through the side doors.
A wall of mirrors and I love them talking about how it's to reflect so that it's not just you can see them, you can really see them. You know what I mean? That's a big deal, especially back in the day when, windows were broken still, and you know what I mean? So it really was a beautiful thing. And I told you when you sent me the trailer, and I said, I must be really tired because it got me all teary-eyed. But then you just said, bears of a certain age, us as a certain age. Maybe that has a little bit because I remember. I mean, that was before I was just a baby in the 70s. But I still remember because the struggle was real for a long, long time. And maybe that has something to do with it. Yeah,
the documentary is it's called Twin Peaks Tavern in San Francisco back in the 70s. And the amazing thing is it's made by two lesbians. It's amazing. So they co-directed and produced this. The reason I came across it is I interviewed one of the directors for another project, and she works for Pixar, has been there for 26 years, since the very beginning, since Bug's Life, which was their second film they ever did after Toy Story. And one of the really cool things is that I learned is Pixar has what's called the Pixar Cooperative, and they let you use all of the equipment in the Pixar studios. Plus, you can invite anyone that works there to collaborate with you if they'll do it for free after hours. So she gets all these amazing editors, composers, and everything else that helped her put that together in the second project that I interviewed her about. But how cool is that for a studio to be? Maybe they all do that, but I'd never heard of it before.
I haven't heard of it either. I don't. Yeah, and you would think it because that doesn't seem as Disney doesn't seem as welcoming, but they owned Pixar for very long.
Now they do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Well, I love that. I'm going to get a job at Pixar, and that could help a lot.
There you go. That would help us immensely in our budget, since we have no budget, right?
Exactly. Oh my God.
Yeah, if you have a chance, it's called Through the Windows. It's an amazing documentary. Check it out. It has its own website, throughthewindows.com, about the Twin Peaks Tavern in San Francisco and their opening in 1970s with floor-to-ceiling windows. And they interview, I think, 11 to 15 different people from there. And like she told me, it's like, which is true, people of our age, we are in oral history, right? We were still in the closet. There's not a lot of documentary stuff. I mean, we're lucky to have some stuff about Stonewall and the Black Cat, but not much. And a lot of our history is all told through the years from guy to guy or girl to girl, whatever it happens to be. So it's great to see something like that come out. I was very happy to see that.
Yeah, very much. Now, it's still a business, isn't it? Or no?
It's still, it's still open. Still open. Very much a neighborhood Cheers type bar for the gays. What she was saying, average age is like 50 to 60, but it's welcome to everybody. Very comfortable, nice, just corner gay bar, and just very, very nice. So.
And I do think it's funny. I think it's great that they have been so like all the big windows and everything, because there is probably a good % of the heterosexual population, especially if they happen to be of the right-wing persuasion, that think all a gay bar is a bunch of guys fucking in the thing. And that's not what it is. It's about community. We need to remember that. So it's nice that because what are you going to do? You can't accuse someone if you...
There's a little bit of something on the side, but it's mostly about community.
Yeah, exactly.
Which bar you go to, especially our gay bars, for the Bears. You
name me a straight bar that isn't also a little something on the side.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we can't forget that. But I love that. I love that the windows are so picturesque. I'm going to do an aside really quick. Let me check on my child. My dog is with us today. So I have to, every once in a while, I have to look over, make sure he hasn't taken over everything, which he will.
I love puppies.
You can leave the door open if he wants to go in and out. But yeah, so, gay guys, they're our children. Let's be honest.
There you go. Exactly.
Yes.
Another thing I wanted to go to entertainment-wise, of course, we always read Bear Magazine every week. And they got a couple things on. They had the Bear Awards we'll talk about in a second. But one of their articles they had last week was about hookup culture, which we've talked about before a lot, and the old ads in The Advocate and Craigslist and everything we used to do back in the day, and now it's all app. Well, kind of fun, this week, Boy Culture Generation X came out, streaming. Did you see the original movie back in 2006 when it came out?
It feels like it was a forever ago, I guess. Yeah.
It was, yeah. 2006, decades ago. Of course, Daryl Stevens, who was, I think, was before Noah's Ark or right after. Or he was still looking gorgeous as ever and still looking gorgeous to this day. Derek Magyar was in the original as X. Hudson is kind of, if you didn't see the first story, Boy Culture was about this guy named Alex, who goes by X, who was a hustler, and he's roommates with Daryl Stevens' character. Alex, I think. Alexander. What's his name? I don't know. Andrew. And so they are roommates, ended up kind of falling in love, getting into a relationship, and they're trying to navigate X's hustler career with their budding romance and how it's going to affect the relationship. So it's very drama-esque, very, very some nuance into it. Very good movie. Well, now Generation X is out, premiered this past Thursday, I think it was. It's on Deku and Amazon Prime and all your streaming things. Now it's 15 years later. They're actually using the same actors 15 years later.
Right.
X and Andrew have broken up now. So X has to go back to doing his old ways.
Yeah.
But it's a little different 15 years ago from my Craigslist and everything.
Ain't
So
that the truth?
enter a new little hot and handsome little cowboy Chase with a
Yeah.
Y, of course,
Of course.
who's now teaching X the ropes.
Yeah.
And I've seen the first episodes. All I've had time to see them so far, but a lot of fun. It's a lot more lighthearted, a lot more comedy. I'm enjoying it, I gotta say.
A little sexy again, like the original Queer as Folk. You know what I mean? Give me a little more.
Very much so. Right.
Yeah.
Has that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. Like, don't bring Queer as Folk back and put it on NBC. Like, what the hell? You know, you don't want to neuter what made it amazing. So, yeah, so I haven't seen any of this new one, but I am curious.
I'm looking forward to, like I said, I only saw the first episode so far. It is a series. It took forever to get this out there. I mean, a lot of people don't know the background. I think it was scheduled to go out in 2021, 2000 maybe. Like it was finished forever ago.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and then strikes happened, and they couldn't get it distributed. So they finally got it out there.
Yeah.
Which I'm very happy about. But yeah, it was a long, hard journey into night to get that thing on streaming.
It's a double-edged sword. In the old days, it wasn't as difficult to make things happen faster. You know, and whether that be in music or movies or books, but now we take care of people better, and sometimes that means it takes longer. Yeah.
Yeah, and it helps. I mean, we have a lot of these new streaming services now. Like I said, Hulu's starting to do a lot of LGBTQ. Amazon's been pretty good at it. My Deku is my favorite.
Yeah.
Go to It's Only Jay. I mean, we've talked a lot about your comedy series that you're still putting together. Do you have a way? Do you know how you're looking to distribute that eventually, or
well, the good thing about
producer, and what do you look for right now these days?
Especially because the game is so different, that your options are a lot more though. So on the plus side, you have a lot of options, but a lot of it, if you're going to go the indie route, is a lot of work. So if you're out there and this is what you want to do, I love that, and I want more people being creative out there. But don't lie to yourself. It is a lot of work. So, originally I had been working with Here TV, and we had meetings, and I was going to go that route. Now, I got to the point where now I just want to film the fucking thing. And then I'll decide. But right now I want the joy of creating it. And then I know there's avenues and I know there's people. Because now you even have places that you can sell directly to a streamer, but then they get all the rights. Or you can just make it YouTube. I mean, there's so many really good ways to do it. But this is what I tell everybody. Just make it. Make it, and then work.
I mean, you're seeing that more and more. They're giving you money after the fact. You got to make it yourself, and then they'll decide if they want to purchase it, or they will, out of the kindness of their heart, show it on their network for you and get free exposure for themselves.
Exactly. It's like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, and I love it, and I want to see more, especially. I mean, the indie artists were coming out because they didn't have a choice because of the strike. So I'm hoping we'll see a lot more of those indie artists as well. Plus, so much more originality comes from that.
Right.
And I think obviously I love the movies and all of that, and I always want to go there. But I also want a healthy space for, you know what I mean, for the indie people,
And the film festival is almost more fun than the streaming. I mean, you got the Imageverse in Palm Springs and places up in San Francisco. Places in Portland, Oregon's doing a great job now. It's like there's so many great options.
Seattle International Film Festival is huge, and they have like 4 theaters that they run year round, and they're really, and I love that. I love seeing those film festivals everywhere. So yeah, I'd love to be in one. I went and saw, I don't know if you know Jane Clark. She did 2 horror series, season 1, season 2 of Sexy Bitches. So
I have not heard that.
It was great. I got to go see it at a North Hollywood. Candace Cain is one of the stars. I got to go see it in the theater, and it was so fun. And Jane Clark kicks ass. She knows how to build an indie that just build it out of nowhere and make it. And it's Crazy Bitches. Either way, it's so much fun. and worth seeing. And it's fun to see that kind of stuff on a big screen and, everybody there. Yeah, it's a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
And like going back to boy culture, it's was created and directed the original movie and this by Alan Braca, Q. Alan Braca, who I love, who did all the fun little campy shows back in the day, the Eating Out and the Ford
Right?
movies
Oh my
that
God,
came
I
from
remember.
that. So it's kind of, and he had those whole film experience, and now he's doing the streaming route and everything.
Yeah.
So
Listen, there's
everyone's
room
doing
for
it.
all of us. I just want to make sure everybody's out creating. That's what we need. Plus, in a crazy world, creation is always a good way to, creating things and building things. And that's a beautiful way to put some good energy out there. We need it.
How's your new book, Self-Expression, coming? Are you learning things? Are you still working on it every day?
Oh, yeah. And actually, I had Jade, what's his name? Jade Estrada. Is Jade Esteban Estrada. He's a well-known comedian, and I got to meet him, and he's doing the same thing as I'm doing.
Nice.
So that made it even more fun to each of us talk about what the process is like. And he's been at this comedian headlining shows for 20 years. He was
Right.
Charo's he was choreographer, so he worked with Charo for years. And so we talked about that, and it's fun, but oh my God, it's work. Just when you have to make time for yourself so you can get connected to your creativity, wow, it's more work than you realize. But it's a lot of fun. I love it very much.
I have a side note I forgot about that I didn't tell you about. I teased it in the last episode. I got to go see Noah Reed in concert
That's
right
right.
before
Oh,
It turned out it was a new theater that I haven't heard of before, so I was excited to go try it out. I'd reached out to him a couple weeks before to see if I can get an interview or backstage or
yeah.
something. Didn't happen. The venue is gorgeous. It's outside. It's in between where I'm at in Youngstown and Pittsburgh, kind of halfway in
Yeah.
between. But it's owned by the Live Nation, so it's
Oh,
so corporate, and it was
yeah.
impossible. We couldn't have cameras in there, so I couldn't take pictures. I couldn't get to. It was a mess. So
Yeah.
he was great though. I can't tell you, his
Wow.
voice is better than it was on TV. Amazing time, but I have no proof, and it's not on Instagram. So
Right.
did it really happen? I don't know.
So, right? It's like we're living in 1970 all over again. We're forced to just have to enjoy a moment. So rude.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just had Jonas Brothers come through town, and 20 minutes before they were to go on, I was offered tickets, and I'm like, why would you do that to me with 20 minutes? And they were like third row, but the Jonas Brothers did a great job. Joe's a little controversial right now, but he sure does look good. And so a lot of my friends got to go. I just love that they can still tour and put on a freaking huge arena show. And so, yeah, when you're in our game, you have to say yes to as much as you can say yes to.
Right.
So it's unfortunate when it's so to the wire that you're like, there's no way. But yeah.
Those boys are doing it hard. I mean, I'm so impressed.
Are they?
A lot of them don't come back. I mean, now what do we have? We have NSYNC coming back, and everything's after a long time. But I think Jonas Brothers really played it smart.
Yeah.
NSYNC is just because of their popularity, it's automatically naturally going to be huge.
Right. I have a question. With NSYNC, it has torn the gay community up. With NSYNC and the Britney book coming out, do you support it because Justin's still in it, or where do you land on the Justin scale?
See, we all have a past, dude. We all have a past.
He was shady. He was shady.
I think he was a little shady.
Yeah.
But did he grow out of it? Who knows? I mean, if at the time he would have been canceled. It would have been cancel culture, right?
Right.
Now
but
you got to look at it.
He lucked out.
Right. Now you got to look back and look at it. I don't know. I don't think I would. It doesn't affect me as much as it does people online,
right? Right. I don't know what I think about it either, because it's so hard to say no to NSYNC. But that's horrible. I get it. Everybody's like, how that you have no. Listen, calm your ass down. I get it, but I don't know enough yet. But I will say it does seem, from everything we've heard, that he was a little shady, and he So I don't know, but so that's. Let me tell you. And do you know what I realized? There's a big. If you want to know the generation of the gay you are, Barbara Streisand's autobiography just came out. She wrote it. She reads it. She reads it on her audio. And let me tell you, that's what I'm listening to before I get to Britney. It's Barbara. So that's my generation. I have worshipped her forever. So I love every morning I listen to Barbara read me her story, and it makes me so happy. I'll get to Britney later.
Barbara is amazing, but that book could be a freaking doorstop. I mean, we're talking.
Oh, I know, and I love it. Well, she's been in the business
amazing.
60 years. So I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That's 6 decades.
I think it's over 1,000 pages, or right at
I'm here for it. I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna listen to her read it to me. It is everything. I just have to say, it is everything. I do want to read Britney's, but sorry, people. For me, it has to wait till Barbara.
Yeah, I think as a certain age, I think we're obligated to do that.
I think so.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, there's all this controversy. I'm not really following. I mean, as I think we have to support women at all times. We got to try to believe things. We got to believe things. But if she didn't want to do anything back then, I haven't heard the story, so I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
I do have to say
believe that what she says.
Yeah.
To at least a degree.
It sounds like her journey reminds me of back in the studio days. You know, you were treated like a piece of property. Like, it's traumatic just to hear her story. I cannot imagine living that story. So I think the first thing is, listening is I'll just have to read it and listen to it. And then, we all have to make our own in this world. But I will say I am concerned with Justin currently because he was a kid and he did stupid things. That's what so far, that is what I know. And I will decide later if I cancel him from my life.
And then you talk about Joe being a little controversial right now. He's controversial. I mean, now there's gay rumors for him and everything else about it.
Well,
and the poor kid.
Started those, so
That was you, wasn't it? Okay.
Well, you know what's so crazy is he unlike Justin, Joe is not trying to be anything but a jackass. Like, someone needs to go over to him and be like, you know what? Maybe don't talk about it anymore. Maybe just sing your song, because your soon-to-be ex-wife is not saying anything, which makes you look even worse because she looks classy. You're an idiot. So, but your arms look good. I saw the pictures from the third row. Your arms are looking great. But I'm like, dude, just shut up. It's hard enough to break up in normal life with just a group of friends. He's not doing the public breakup very well. So. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of women's rights, everything, I do have to acknowledge that we had that big election last week in Ohio. Yay on issue 1. We have put abortion into the Constitution. We talked last week about some political topics. We're not going to go too far into it, but the ones that weed became legal. I told you I was hoping for that, and that became legal. But it's a little different. Abortion was put into the Constitution. The weed was a referendum, so the legislature can still monkey with it. So who knows what they're going to do with it. Now, it's still legal, but they can put all these restrictions on top of it.
Ohio was one of those big states that they were watching the abortion issue, and so it's huge that it has been put in. And so amazing. And let's just say really quick, across the board, that the right wing, someone smacked him in the face, and I love it. Because so many, let's say, opposite of their views have been winning. And I think that says a lot. People are like, okay, you guys have gone too far. So I love that. I love that across the state. We voted our idiot of a mayor out. And
good for you.
Yes. And so I love it. And, we all know in politics, take the wins where you get them, celebrate them while you got them. And I think we've earned that right across the nation for those of us on the left wing to celebrate for a minute. So nobody panic, just celebrate, just breathe for me. I'll get texts from Kurt. Kurt always will send me a text and he'll be like, okay, 2 points that I need to just bring up, because he'll spiral out of control. Because I mean, politics gets pretty scary. So I always have to talk him off the cliff. And then, so what I'm telling everybody, let yourself have a moment to breathe and to celebrate. We'll get back to the ugly later. Let's all celebrate.
There you go. Well, speaking of Out 100 and advocacy, I had Jonathan Lovitz on my other show the other day. Most well-spoken advocate I've ever seen. He's working in the Biden-Harris administration now. But I mean, the whole interview just floored me with his wisdom and how good he is, obviously. But one of the things he really talked about that really hit home was equity versus equality, right? Equality can go away, which we've seen after 6 years of Trump and everything they're trying to do. You can start it, but it's not guaranteed. Equity is making it happen for everybody. So it's something we need to keep working on every day.
Yeah, it's a good interview too. So more people need to go watch and listen, because like you say, there's lots of moments, thought-provoking moments. We need those. Just saying, we need more of those. So it's a good interview.
It was amazing. I was looking forward to talking to him. I've been a follower of his for a long time.
Yeah.
Because he worked for the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce for 10 years and passed bills from Long Beach to New York for different things. So I've always been a fan, but I haven't really heard him speak that much. I've always just seen the results of his behind the scenes work. Great speaker. So it was a good interview. But I like when we can talk about things like that. We try not to keep too political, but when things that are advocacy, that's a little different because we're all for us, right?
I love it.
There you go. Let's go from the serious back to the silly again, because those Bear World magazines, of course, happened right before we taped our last episode.
Yeah.
And another award show we didn't win. I'm starting to get pissed off a little bit.
Well, you know them. I know them. Hello.
Thank you. Waving from a window here. Come on. We're right outside the door. Let us in.
Exactly.
But I thought it was good. I mean, Jonathan, who we become friends with, the editor of Bear World, very nice guy. Him and Kimmy Moore did the award show. All green screen. They did very nice. It looked good. The graphics were good. They had a good time. It was streamed, so you can go see it still. I think it's on YouTube and maybe a couple other places. But Best Bear Personality, Roulette Delgado, wasn't really familiar with, but kind of saw him afterwards. But he's definitely a personality, a big, large, in charge guy. So I kind of like him. Joshua Pangborn, I didn't know much about. He got Best Bear Representation in Media. He has a little studio guy. I didn't know about him whatsoever.
Yeah.
But
well, and that's the whole joy of these award shows. Is that you learn about people that we should know about. You know what I mean? I love that.
The best bear bars in Berlin. I don't know if I'm going to travel that far to go to a bear bar, but good for them.
Berlin Bears, I'm telling you. That's all I'm saying.
I like Czech. I like Next Door Czech. Daddy likes his Czech boys.
And also, a really good song from Tom Goss is Berlin. Love that song.
Exactly, right. Yep. Wolf is the bar's name in Berlin there. Best Bear Bar. Now this I'm a little disappointed at. Good musician. Best Bear musician is Nakia, who's been killing it. But nominated for it was, of course, Benjamin, who we're having on the show next week. You might want to give a little tease about him. That's exciting.
Yeah, and he's a sweetheart. Like, I accidentally started following him on Instagram. I think it was a suggestion or something. He is the most humble, kindest man. So I would start watching interviews he would do on a podcast. He is so charming. I understand why he's been in the industry as long as he's been. So I think those two, and of course it was about the same time that I started following him, that I also started following Nakia. And I'm just like, I've spoken to them both very kind. So I say that just means there's room next year to bring Benjamin right in. So
there you go.
I love that we have our own award show. Bears have their own. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That'll be next week. So it's going to be the day before Thanksgiving. So we'll have that out with Benjamin. So it'll be a fun time.
You can watch it while you eat your pumpkin pie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's see. Best Bear nightclub is Bear Milk in New York City. Have not been there. I've been to a couple bars in New York City.
Right.
I've never heard of Bear Milk before.
I haven't either, but I'm going. That sounds sounds
It's
fun.
club night. It might be a different bar. I have to look into it a little closer. But Best Bear activist Verity Smith. Verity does some great things out there for activism community. So, Puppy wants in on the
Like having a
action.
child. It's like, okay, repeat what you just said because my child was yelling. So,
Well, you'd heard bear milk. It got hungry all of a sudden. You need to put
exactly.
the bowl out. There it is.
Oh my
I
god.
thought, Daddy, let me nuzzle up to your teeth there.
I reserve that. That's reserved.
There you go. Now, Best Bear activist was Verity Smith, who's done a lot of great things for the community. So I was glad to see that. The Best Bear event was Sitkus Bear Week over Provincetown. You hear great things about Provincetown. I've heard about Sitkus. I didn't know it was so popular and so good.
Yeah.
But that got the best bear event. So we're going to have to.
I'm dying to go to Baytown.
Invited to all these next year. We have to go to that.
A lot of them. I'm dying to go over there. There's a store. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Adam's Nest. That's there.
No.
That first of all, Adam, the guy who owns it, is an amazing guy. But that store sells my favorite T-shirts ever, and they have lots of T-shirts for the bear community. So I'm just saying,
Nice.
And some of them are pretty naughty, and it's so great. So I highly recommend Adam's Nest.
I love it. Very, very cool. Best Bear Adult Performer, Justin West.
Oh, well then. I know I've seen it.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you. And the Best Bear Adult Studio, naturally, Bear Films. So
of course.
it was a fun inaugural award show. Like I said, I thought they did a very good job. It was produced very well for a streaming show. First time doing a streaming show's tough.
Right.
I mean, I've watched Emerson Collins, our friend, do a lot of these things, and he's gotten so good at them. But the first ones are always really tough to kind of get those cameras down. I mean, they were in one location, which helped a bit. But good job to Jonathan and Kimmy for keeping it moving.
Well, they have
jokes were fun and canned as they all are, but they were fun.
They have such a good team over there, anyways, and they've been at this for a while. So I love that they finally made this jump because I think they were ready, and so were the rest of the bears out here in the world. So I love that they did it, and I think you find out the level you're at when you do a show like that, and they've been around that they made it decent and respectable. And just imagine if you start there every year, it just goes higher.
Exactly. Like I said, inaugural episode, they're still learning. There's only 10 categories. They had 12,000 votes for the 10 categories. But Best Bear Podcast was not one of the categories. So for next year,
we are going to change that.
There you go. That's what I'm screaming. So
love that.
Yeah, congratulations. And there was two other. Ali Lopez was recognized as the first ever Bear World icon. So congratulations to Ali Lopez on that. And Adam Rodriguez Root, I guess, was given the very first Bear World Trailblazer Award. So
that's amazing.
10 categories and 2 special awards for icon and trailblazer. So good job for a first year event. I was impressed.
That's amazing. And congratulations to them. My God. So I love them. I wrote for them back in the early days, and they're just a good crew. Just a good group of people. So love it.
Big time.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is going on out there? Churchy news. I'm not a churchy guy whatsoever.
Yeah.
But very interesting. The Vatican came out with rules affirming that transgender and children of gay parents can now be baptized. Of course, there's rules involved, as there always is for these churches. I think for transgender, as long as there's no risk of causing disorientation to other Catholics. And I think for the children to be baptized, what is that one? Well-founded hope that he or she will be educated in the Catholic faith.
Yeah, and that's really all they care. Let's be honest. Catholicism forever. All they really care is that Catholicism continues. That's all that matters. If you can give them that, they're like, okay, go do that. Yeah. I just don't have time for or energy for religion. It's just kind of a waste. And everybody can be mad at
men walking around in a dress and a goofy hat, right?
I mean,
come
I can
on.
do that. If I want to be a drag queen, I can go do that. So,
exactly.
I just think it's funny that they had to fight so hard for how long to get this very arbitrary kind of, like I don't have anything against the current Pope. Actually, he's done a lot of progressive things, and I think that's great because we need to. But one of my favorite comedians, Kathleen Madigan, was talking about an apology. Yes, an apology that the Pope had offered to, I think it was Russia. And she goes, do you understand? This was like, what, 1700? She goes, that is the file they are on. That is how far back they're going. So, I'm just like, stop, we let religion rule our lives and take away our joys. I don't have time for that.
I love Kathleen. If you're going to talk Irish Catholic, you have to talk Kathleen Madigan.
Oh, and she's amazing. So hysterical. Yeah.
My favorite thing about her is she always tours with Lewis Black, who's like one of my all-time favorites. Besties. They are.
Yeah.
I love
she has she has many specials out there that you can watch, but I love bothering Jesus. It makes me laugh. You're not supposed to bother Jesus. So that's why the Catholics put levels in. Yeah, she's just hysterical. Yeah.
She's amazing. I've loved her for a long time. I haven't seen her in person, but I've seen all of her stand-up specials.
Right.
That's my favorite thing to do on Netflix is watch comedy specials.
Me too. Yep.
I do that a lot when I'm just doing my interview pre-notes or anything. I'll have in the background different comedy shows because I just love it. There's John Mulaney, who is so problematic now. One of my I'll watch his shows over and over again.
Oh, so hysterical! I feel like he's coming out the other side finally. It took. It was a bit. But yeah, I love so brilliantly funny. I actually enjoy Jim Gaffigan a lot. He makes me giggle.
Right.
So so it's fun.
He actually did an awards banquet of some kind here locally in the Youngstown area a while back. I forget what it was for, but he came and emceed it and everything. Yes. And everyone, I knew a couple people that went, and they said he was so nice to everyone after the event, shook hands with everybody. And
I mean, talk about a devout Catholic. He's Catholic, and he's got, 5 children now? And so he likes to say he's a good Catholic man. And I just find him, he's just so funny. He's just so great.
We need to keep him popular just so all those kids living in a New York apartment with him. I don't know your forms.
It's so crazy. But yeah, the comedies, that's the way to go.
Exactly. All right, last thing, and then we got to get out of here today, Johnny. And I was able to get sent over that trailer. So we'll play the trailer at the end of the episode today.
I love that.
Or through the window. So we'll play that at the end. But I do want to talk about another film that's going to be on MSNBC and Peacock this week. It's this past weekend now. We're filming this on Friday for next Wednesday. It's coming up this Sunday. So it'll be about 3 days ago now. And it's called Serving in Secret. It's all about the history of LGBTQ serving in the military.
Yeah.
How we overturned Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and what the policy was all about.
Right.
And all of us from a certain age, we lived through that, right? A lot of us got discharged. Things we're still trying to get equity in that, speaking about equity and equality, trying to get that. So I'm looking forward to watching that this Sunday.
Yeah.
If you did not see it, I'm sure you can go to msnbc.com and they'll have it streaming for a while there. And it's on Peacock. Peacock streams everything.
Right. I think it's important because it reminds us that it wasn't that long ago. You know what I mean? I mean, there was the Defense of Marriage Act. All of that crap was happening right around, the same time. I think it's important to realize that, we are not that far from the history of oppression. You know what I mean? And there's still oppression going on now. So I bet it's going to be really powerful to a lot of people. And it's good for us to, if you don't know the history, to watch something and learn our history. So I love that.
Exactly. So many people lost their benefits, their pensions and everything, serving in the closet as much as they could. It's like someone decides to out them or something happens and they lose everything, no matter how many years they've been there, from 1 year to 20 years of service.
Dishonorably discharged. Well, there's that new movie. I forget what it's called. It has Matthew Bomer in it, and it's about back in the day when the government could call you in if
travelers or something.
Yes,
Travelers.
Yeah. If they felt like you were gay, because there was a whole rule about that. And
Exactly.
I mean, I love that we're seeing more of our history being brought forward. You know what I mean? Because as much as we may know our history, there are lots of people out there that don't. You know what I mean? And that should. And I'm not just talking about the young ones. I'm talking about both sides of the aisle. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So it's great.
I love it. Well, Jonny, anything exciting happening on Queer Centric we need to know about, or anything that you're doing personally you're working on?
Super. It's such a crazy time of year if you're in this business. So I'm hosting a lot of events for people, and I'm having a great time. I was telling a friend today, something happens when you are an MC and a public, speaker. And I cannot tell you, in the last 3 years, I have been fondled by more. Yes, it happens. People will come up to me and they'll be like, "Can I get my picture with you?" And I'm like, "That's so sweet. Of course you can." And then their hands are all over my ass because they've had like a few glasses of wine. And it's funny. I had a heterosexual man come up to me at an event recently with his wife and wanted to talk to me. It was a great time. And then at the end, he looks at me so close to my face and goes, "I love you." And then walks away. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh my goodness.
More important than any of that, the Queer Centric is filming what will be considered, we're going to have to put a parental warning on it, but we are doing our roundtable discussion of the amazing book Boy Slut, so it'll be out by the time you see this. There's a bunch of it's a diverse group of guys who have read the book, and we're going to talk about it. Zachary Zane is the author. He is, sales are going well, which I love. He's showing up in more bookstores. But it's going to be an interesting discussion. And I know a lot of people wish that we wouldn't discuss it, but we need to. We need to talk about sex in our society. And so I'm very excited for that. And our annual Naughty and Nice holiday photo shoot is happening. And we will launch it on, we're doing the 12 Days of Christmas. And so it launches on the 1st. You will get probably close to 32 photos in the end, but we shoot it next week, and it's going to be even bigger than last year's. People always enjoy it. I'm very excited to go do it. I'm going to be uncomfortable in my wearing scantily clad things and I think I have 5 models this year, and it's going to be fun. It's all about celebrating positivity. It's all about embracing the holidays the way you choose to embrace it, and it's a lot of tongue-in-cheek and naughtiness happening. So those are the exciting things happening on our end.
I love that. That's amazing. I'm so excited to see all of those. My little 12 Days of Christmas are not as fun as that at all. I'm like, oh,
you need to fly in. It's an eye opener.
There you go. I should. I'll tell you off air, but I've kind of went through a midlife, old life crisis last week and did a lot of changes to things that now I'm regretting, but now I'm free to do some other stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about it off air.
Oh, I'm excited.
Very interesting. But next week I'm going to be starting, or it's actually this week that this is airing, I'll be starting doing my coffee talks again. I did them a couple times a while back. I'm going to start those again 3 days a week if I can keep my happy butt to them. I'm going to bring a couple of special guests on, past guests and previous guests, depending. They'll mostly be East Coast guests because no one's going to get their happy butt up at my 7 o'clock time is 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning your time. But we'll have some of those fun things. So yeah, lots of fun stuff's happening everywhere.
See,
I'm glad everyone can tune in.
A busy time of year, but it'll be fun.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, guys, that's it for this week's Bears of a Certain Age. Like I said, be sure to come in next week. We're going to have Benjamin on with a great interview, our Thanksgiving episode. Maybe we'll throw out a recipe or two, or at least talk about eating a lot.
You throw out the recipes because you can cook, and then I'll eat them.
There you go. I like it. All right, for Jonny and I, guys, have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's Scott from Bears of a Certain Age. Surplus is here. the new gay dating app exclusively for us mature men. Jonny and I are excited to have them as our premier community brand partner right here on Bears of a Certain Age. On the Surplus app, where older is always bolder, available now on both Apple and Android phones. We hope you'll join us where you can get the app so you can meet the man.